Let's go.
Hey, and
Don't pass
don't
go.
pass go.
Episode 11.
Podcast episode
Episode
11
11.
already.
1-1.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Double digits.
Um, Double digits. Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Uh,
Um, yeah. So we're episode go. Don't pass go. Episode 11. That's over. I'm Geyer. Uh, Here's our screens right there. Boom, boom. So it's nice to see you guys back, everybody that follows us intently.
yeah,
Probably were
cheers.
missing us
We're
last
back.
week. I was missing. Cheers. Cheers. I got Coca-Cola. You got a
Uh,
high noon. It's breakfast beers for you.
my day
It's
off.
afternoon. Nice. I
Finally.
was just I was just want to say, yeah, this job has you work some crappy hours, and we weren't able to record last week, but that's okay. We're gonna record this week and move on from it. But yeah, so the job in Missouri, not the best one you've ever been on, huh?
No, it's just the hours. It's not really the people or the job. It's the hours. I start at 10 p.m. I don't get off till 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Sorry. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
I drive home, the sun's up. It's like just it's just terrible. I feel like a whole day's ruined. Uh,
yeah.
you have no time to really do anything. I wake up, I'm tired, but I force myself to go to the crappy hotel gym, which sucks, but it is what it is. I'm not going to leave because by the time you leave,
Yeah.
you gotta go straight to work. It's like you got in the plant's like in like 45 minutes away, so it's like it's not close to commute. It's a hike, the haul.
Oh, really? This is like the closest you can get to it, or you just
Yeah,
the
pretty much.
nicest hotel?
Nah, it's pretty well. You can get a little bit further, but there's more food options. Food options there, but like this is far enough, and I got food options
Yeah.
here, so it's not very fun. It's not like I can do anything anyway. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
take your win as you can, especially
Yeah,
working, 10 to 9. That's no not even that's just crappy hours. Like even if they flip that and work 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., you still aren't doing dick. Like there's nothing
right.
to do really.
I guess you can
Or any time.
get out of work, go get something to eat at some like a late night restaurant. Hopefully, ah, 9 o'clock
Yeah,
still. Most of them are closed. Even good food.
yeah, for real. That's crazy. But
But
I saw you did a little adventuring. You did get a day off here earlier this week or this weekend, and you went to Lake of the Ozarks.
yeah, that was last week. That was
Oh,
actually
that.
no, that wasn't even
Oh,
last week. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't had time to like
oh.
look at my photos even. Like, oh yeah, I did that.
Right on.
Like
Because
that was
I thought it was this last weekend.
no, no. It was yeah, it wasn't even like last week. It was last Wednesday. It was the Friday before, like the day before we went on shifts. So I didn't even work a shift yet.
Oh
Uh,
crap!
yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
all right.
since
Damn.
since I started shift, I haven't really done anything other than sleep at the hotel or go to work.
Yeah.
Such
So
is life.
how many more you guys almost done, or you guys got a couple more weeks?
No, I think in a week from today, I'll have like one more day of work maybe, if that. So actually,
Oh, right on.
I hope my day off like kind of sets me up to like leave that day. Hoping.
Right on.
There's sometimes it happens.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then are we still straight to Brazil, or are you getting to come back
Oh,
home
no,
for a day or two?
coming home for like almost 2 weeks, 2 weeks ish. So we
Awesome.
have a couple home games.
Home games. Love the home games. They're fun.
Yeah,
It's still be a little bit colder than when the last time we had a home game. Uh,
yeah.
Noticeably colder. But yeah, I'm all for it. I can't wait. Can't
Find
wait
a
for a home game.
Have to find a new
Get that
studio.
crowd behind you.
Right.
Oh, yeah, the studio.
The studio might be
We'll
bundled up
see.
by the time we get home.
Yeah, it might be shut down for the season. We'll have to see. I don't know,
Hmm.
but
I don't know. I haven't been there
maybe
in like a
somebody
month and a half. So
yeah, somebody will be generous enough to like let us podcast in their lovely living room or something. I don't know.
we're looking
Uh,
for a. By the way,
but
we're looking for a winter studio. So if you got some extra spare room,
just 2 weeks. That's all. Two
yeah,
weeks because I feel like once he's gone to Brazil, it's we don't need that we we won't need it probably till next year maybe. So, but
Right.
yeah, then we'll have some nice views. You know, and do all that fun jazz. But so anywho, yeah. So it's been a minute since we talked. We've had two Steeler games since then. Steelers looked like shit both games. They won one, lost one badly to Houston, to
Yeah.
a bad Houston team. Um, but they
A
it's
division
hard
win's
to
a
say.
division win.
Like,
I mean, I'll
yeah,
take
like,
it. I'll take it any way you can get it. But I mean, I can't. I haven't watched either game because kind of sleeping. But like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I saw the highlights. I saw the stats. Yeah, the offense fucking blows.
yeah.
It's.
We were at the game this past Sunday,
I didn't
and
see that.
you like the crowd. The crowd was it was that. Oh, let's put it this way: how I rate my games is how the crowd responds to Renegade, and that was probably the softest Renegade I've ever heard in my life. Like, it just nobody was into it, and rightfully so. Like, there's nothing going on, like nothing. Our defense bailed them out so many times. Our special teams bailed them out, and then our offense just did nothing all game except for, you know, um,
Last two
I'd
minutes.
say maybe dozen, a dozen plays. A dozen plays, they probably did something. The other time, it was like piss poor, piss
Yeah.
poor play calling or piss poor play. I mean, Pickett wasn't that good at times. He just wasn't. It wasn't just even the play calls. He just made bad reads or bad throws at times too. So it, I hope that as much as I want Matt Canada to be fired, I think he should. He deserves it. At the same time, Pickett needs to be better too. I know he's a second year quarterback and still trying to learn the speed and everything of the game, but he needs to do better himself. So I don't
Yeah.
know. That's my opinion.
Yeah. He's a
It
year
was
into his campaign, really. Right? As being a star, he's a year in now, right? This
yeah,
is where he
yeah,
came in last year, and that's where he took over
yeah.
the offense.
This is his first 17 games. And he's 10-7 in those games. So like he does have a winning record. It's just there's some things that I still feel like are
Lacking.
not pro level. He does, his
Yeah.
some his reads. He gets focused on one side of the field the whole play, like from the start of the play to either he throws it or gets sacked or whatever. He's just looking tunnel vision right at this area. He's not even trying to glance and see his other options, which he does have. But who am I? I'm just a guy sitting in a
Hmm.
room right now talking to a buddy of mine. So I'm not in the NFL.
Right.
Never have it.
Yeah. It's
But
the running game doesn't look good either from what I've seen. Not Najee's
nah,
struggling. Najee's struggling.
I
That
just don't know if he's hurt. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't think he has any open field either. Just to feel like that offensive line isn't really creating much. Uh,
The offensive line isn't creating much, but every time Warren was in on this past Sunday,
hmm,
like he was making stuff happen. He was running hard. Like
yeah,
he ran with a purpose. He was like, I'm gonna go. He did, and you see Najee, and he's sitting there, and that might be his style. Like he'll sit there and try to dance and wait to the open hole and stuff. But
yeah.
we don't have that offensive line. Like that offensive line that Le'Veon Bell had
I was
back
gonna
in
say Le'Veon Bell was
14,
the
15.
best at it. Le'Veon
Yeah,
Bell was
like,
unreal. The way you could just
but
like
that
sit
offensive
there.
line was stacked too.
Hell of a lot better than what we have now.
Yeah, and
But he could be so
Najee,
patient. It was so awesome to see Le'Veon Bell in his prime.
yeah,
He would just sit back there.
oh,
You're thinking like, move, run, and then next thing you know, he just
yeah,
find his seam and fuck. He's upfield
oh,
8 yards like
yeah,
every time.
yep,
His
it was crazy.
acceleration was unbelievable. It's probably the best of a running back I've ever seen. Uh, I mean, I
Oh
know
yeah,
I'll never
I
really round
mean,
for Barry Sanders, but I feel like that's kind of the level of acceleration that he had.
same. I agree with that. I mean, in all honesty, Le'Veon Bell, if he would have got out of his own way with the contracts and all that stuff and
Yeah,
the off the field problems, he definitely. I mean, even to this day, he's probably up there and one of the best for Steeler running backs. But he could have been one of the greats of all time for in the NFL and stuff. It
I'll
just
be honest with you.
sadly.
There was a couple years like after Bell and Brown. after their shenanigans. Uh, there's a couple of years I just really didn't like the NFL. I was kind of out of it. The Steelers are kind of on the downhill slide right there with the with the Big Ben's career kind of coming into an end, and like ever since it was like those two left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I checked out of football about the same time, like not completely checked out. Like I obviously still watched, and but I didn't go out of my way to watch a game. I didn't go out of my way to like
Yeah.
to see anything other than a Steeler game. Like I'd watch a Steeler game, obviously, but like I wasn't revolving my day around it. If there's something else I wanted to do, I was going to go do it. Put it that way. I wasn't that way before the shenanigans of Brown and Bell. I wasn't. I had to go see a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
The game was on. I'm going to watch it. There ain't no
Yeah.
doubt. But
Yeah.
around that time, I was just
No,
over it. I was over
I agree.
left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't the best of times for us as fans or as, an organization in general.
Even still, I don't get
So
involved
and
with
that's
anything past the game. Like I can't watch ESPN. I can't watch like it just doesn't do it for me. I don't care about the contracts and who's this, that. Just show me who's on the field that day. I want to watch a game. I want to watch good football, and that's it. That's all it comes down to. I don't give a shit about the soap opera that's off the field. At ESPN, I can't even stand turning
I
on.
I don't care so much about that stuff either. They off of field what they do in their personal lives, but like contracts and what they're doing on the field, I guess I follow a lot, making sure that like who's playing, who's injured, stuff like that. And I'm still always I've been in the fantasy, playing fantasy football for a long time, so I still try to keep track of what the pulse is around the
Yeah,
around and gambling. Try to keep the pulse of what's happening around the
yeah.
league so I can try to make money or win a league,
Yeah.
fantasy football league. So
Yeah, I definitely checked out of
but
the fantasy a few years back. Another thing that left a bad taste
yeah.
in my mouth. You got one commissioner. You got one commissioner that that's all it takes. All it takes is one commissioner just load up someone's team. Someone's out of playoffs.
Yeah.
Trades their best players to someone that's in playoffs, and then that guy wins, and they split the pot at the
Uh,
end. What a
oh yeah,
dirty
yeah,
move!
yeah.
And that
That
was
is
it.
straight
That was
dirt.
it. I'd
That's
never.
straight dirt.
It was
I
dirt. It
I
was
don't
just shit. It was cheat.
I
I
don't
mean,
fault
it's
you at
cheating.
one bit. I don't
I,
fault you one bit for that. That is horseshit. That should not be allowed.
yeah, and the commissioner, like, it wasn't even the commissioner wasn't even either one of those parties, but the fact that he didn't shut that
That's
down,
even worse. That
yeah,
he let that happen.
it was so
That's
dirty.
bad. Bad league.
Uh
Bad league.
yeah, I mean, it's completely ruined it. I mean, it was just dirt.
Yeah. I think
Never,
I
never,
think
never played again.
starting maybe next year oh sorry, I dropped something. Uh, uh, that's why
Oh,
I got so close to
did you
the
drop it
camera.
up to
Sorry.
there in Alpine Lake?
It was a nice little brook that's running below my feet
So, is
right now.
that where that waterfall's coming from?
Yeah.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, no, I think next year if we have enough followers, subscribers, maybe we start our own Don't Pass Go League.
Don't pass
Try to see
goalie.
what, yeah, see
Huh.
what we can get into. A 10 team league or something
I'll be
with
drafting from
some of
Brazil,
with some of
like
our fans. Yeah,
the Brazilian
yeah,
draft. Yeah.
yeah. We'll have to see what we can get into, but it is what it is. And speaking of sports, other sports, I don't know how much you pay attention to playoff baseball, but man, these games are pretty cool. They're pretty
Uh-huh.
good. Watching them and getting into that. I know you work at night, so you don't get to see anything when you're sleeping during the day. You're not like catching up very much on
No.
that, but I just wanted to make a mention of that because, in my eyes, sports wise, behind the Stanley Cup playoffs, I think baseball playoffs are like second best behind Stanley Cup. Like I just enjoy it.
Well, I think it's
Um,
awesome that every pitch matters, and it really does. And I'm
yeah,
just speaking from a past experience, not like what's going on now. And honestly, I don't have much clue other than the Braves came back and beat the hell out of the Phillies the other day, and that was like a big
yeah,
game. That's pretty much all
yeah,
I've heard about it because it was big. But other than that, I couldn't tell you who's
yeah,
up in what series or anything like that. But every pitch matters in playoff baseball. It's crazy. Like I remember when the Pirates were in there. I know it's been a few years, but that's what I got to reference because that's what we got. But like the fact that
yeah,
you can get in one pitcher's head and he's one pitch away from having a terrible pitch and the ball, you have Russell Martin at the plate and and
Hmm.
and
Home
Cueto
run
gets
Jack, see ya.
yeah, Cueto gets the shakes because the crowd's into it, and that's all it takes.
Yeah,
That
like
was
you
such
know,
an
the
amazing.
Cueto game was a decade ago,
That's
right? That Cueto game
crazy.
was a decade ago for
Are you
us
serious?
as
10 years
Pirates
ago,
fans. Yeah,
2013.
2013.
Jeez,
Yeah, that's
I remember,
sad for us. That's sad for the Pirates. The
it's
Pirates haven't
crazy.
done well.
A couple years.
They made a wild card game a couple years after that too, but so they since then. So for 8 years now, we've been mediocre. So
Oh, mediocre.
it's horrible.
Not even mediocre. It's I think kind of less than mediocre.
Okay, dog
Oh
shit.
shit. Yeah. I think you're
All
giving
right,
too much credit. But yeah,
look at white dog shit.
yeah. The Cueto games like one of those like I remember where I was kind of games. I I,
Same.
I was
I
in
was
I was in Michigan. I was in Michigan watching that at a
were
place
you?
called DC Cook. I was at a bar called Wings Etc. And I remember exactly who I was with. I remember everyone that was at the table I was sitting with, like a couple coworkers, and I remember watching that and
Yep.
going nuts in freaking Michigan.
Yep.
You know,
I
that's
remember too. I was up at IUP. I was at a bar called Twisted Jimmy's. It was like a Tuesday night or something too. For some reason, I think it's a Tuesday night.
I
We
can't
just went
remember
up to
that.
get dinner and stuff. The place was going crazy. I mean, it was a bunch of college kids. Obviously, they don't, they're out and about. Like, I had to work the next morning, but we just went up to get dinner and stuff, and started watching the game there, and then finished watching the game there because it was just such a memorable game, and like you say, like every pitch counted, every at bat mattered, and it was something that I wish we had more meaningful baseball in the city of Pittsburgh, but I don't see it happening probably within the next 5 to 10 years
No.
unless we get new ownership. But
Yeah, you're right.
so
I don't see any bright future. It's not like it's just more shit. It's just until you're right until
yeah,
leadership changes, until ownership changes. That's all they're going to be. It's just
mm,
enough to get by, enough
yeah.
to put money in the pocket of ownership, and they're going to live off the TV rights and the
Oh,
incentives for that and primetime games, and that's
yeah.
enough. And that's what this ownership wants, and they've shown it. I mean, they haven't proven anything otherwise. So
Oh, for sure. Just take the money and basically run. But speaking of ownership, and there's another team in town kicked off their season last night, the Penguins. And I'll tell you what that ownership did. That ownership said, we have a very small Jumbotron and we're going to fix that. And
yeah,
they went and put this Jumbotron on. I don't know if you heard about it or seen it yet,
oh yeah, I've
but
seen it.
it touches blue line to blue line. I mean, that thing is a massive.
Yeah,
Holy
I,
shit, dude.
it's like it's the Dallas Cowboys stadium of jumbotrons and hogs.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah,
It is stupid big. I was like,
I heard it's not the biggest in the league though. I heard there's maybe Vegas might be bigger. I don't know. I'm thinking of something over the top like city, but I don't
uh,
think it's the biggest in the league, which is crazy to think. I just
if it's not the biggest, I mean,
I don't know what is. Let's
I,
look that up.
I
Where's
don't
Stu?
really know. Yeah,
Stu?
where's our Stu? Stu? Hello? Hello? Stu? Oh, we haven't got one yet. Still taking applications. If anybody wants to throw out an application to be our Stu, we would gladly appreciate it. But I don't know who has the biggest jumbotron or why you would need one bigger. I mean, what are you trying to do? Go from
I
end
don't
board
know.
to end board? Like
Right,
just have your whole top of your stadium be? I'm gonna
right.
Google it right now.
Are you largest
Yeah,
jumbotron in NHL?
yeah.
I mean, I don't
But
know how you get bigger, but
but even though we have the large we got that new jumbotron, it didn't help our game. We still look old.
yeah. But right,
um
what I said, like, because when I actually went to work, we were up. What was end of the period? By the time I got into work, it was 2-1. Like, all right, halfway through the third or so,
yeah, okay.
this third has started. It's like 2-1. I'm like, all right, and then we left three goals in the third. I'm like, wow, we're mid season form already. That's the first thing I thought
Well,
of.
oh yeah, the empty net goal, yeah, yeah. But we left. It was just it was horrible. You're right though. It went real quick. It was like that. Like we're looking good, we're doing all right, and then they score, and it kind of just like started my confidence personally watching the game just started like dwindling every shift. Like, oh man, they're starting to do. Oh man, oh wow, we lucked out there, that didn't go in. We didn't lucked out there, that didn't go. Oh, they scored. Oh shit,
It's
now
almost like
it's
the
3-2, and I'm like,
third period comes around. It's like they just try not to lose. It's just like the
yeah.
entire motivation of heading to the puck and trying to be uh, possess the puck in the offensive zone. It just goes out the window. It's more get back, retreat, and try to defend instead of sometimes the best defense is offense.
So the largest jumbotron is in Edmonton at Rogers Place. It is 46 feet wide, 46 feet deep by 36 feet high.
Hmm.
I don't know what the Penguins is, but I mean that's that's crazy.
Yeah, Edmonton. I guess you got to see the Connor McDavid just scored a lot of goals in that thing.
Yeah, that I mean I don't go to a game to watch the jumbotron. I mean, I'm trying to watch the game. It's
Right.
different when you're there too. Like you can see, it's not like football where, like our seats this past weekend, we were in the corner end zone. We were only 5 rows off the field, right in the corner where the opposing team came out, and like that was pretty cool because I could stand over the side and like yell at Lamar Jackson,
Yeah,
and like that was pretty neat. But once the play's on the other end of the field, like you're
can't see
watching the
shit.
jumbotron because you really can't see anything.
No.
Whereas in hockey, it doesn't matter really where you're sitting. You can see the players, see the play happening, see the puck at all
Yeah.
times.
If you're above the glass, you
And
just got to get above the glass. If you're like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you got to just get like
yeah. If you're
halfway. If you're a poor person like me, you're at least up there anyway. So
mm-hmm,
as long as you're like five, 6 rows back from the ice, and then you get the view up over the glass. Hockey is by far the best sport to see live. I don't know what could be better. I never seen a professional soccer game or something
I
like that.
agree.
But in football,
Well,
you're missing
it
a lot of stats. You're missing a lot of things, and it kind of the jumbotron in like a football game is so like promoted to like you're only seeing the stats for like your home team. You're not seeing anything else that's going on in that
mm-hmm,
other side, side stats or anything like
yeah,
that. It's just the game and whatever your home team if they break a record or something like that. But in hockey, you're watching every play develop. You're watching every. You can see
mm-hmm,
where everyone's at, and you can see their angles better. And you can see that live, and you can feel the hits on the boards. I think that's the best thing. If you ever want to get someone into hockey, take them to a hockey game. Uh
What? Oh, we only have 9 minutes left in this meeting time. Did you set us on a timer? Did you put us on a clock? Huh?
I did not. Maybe we'll have to do another one. I don't know why that popped up. That's odd. But what I was saying is it's I don't know what it got a countdown even. I feel like that's weird. But
No.
all right, we'll fix that. We'll do that. Anyways, in the next
Oh
nine
my.
minutes, this meeting might turn off.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure that out. Maybe I didn't pay my bill.
Well,
My
well,
bills are due.
nah. It's not the first time. Yeah, it's not the first time we did it. We got cut off mid interview or mid
Right.
podcast. So,
Right.
but
But if you want to make anyone a hockey fan, take them to a game, put them right by the ice. We'll put them right
mhm.
by the boards, and the first hit that comes their way, they'll be a fan instantly because it's a different feeling than any other.
Yeah.
You feel like you can actually feel the hits.
And, in all honesty, I don't even think you have to take them to an NHL hockey game to get like into it. Like if you take them to a
Right.
high school, especially like where we live in Western PA, and there's other obviously like your Boston's, your Minnesota, state of Minnesota, and there's other air pockets of hockey places, New York, upstate New York and stuff. There's places of hockey, um, high school hockey that's really good. We were luckily in one of them pockets that have really good high school hockey. But if you go to a high school hockey game around here, there wasn't anything better. I mean, especially when we were in high school, it was the ticket every week. You wanted to be at that game because
100%.
it was fun. it was freaking fun.
Yeah, yeah.
High school hockey is a good time. So like if you want to get into hockey and you're trying to watch on TV and you get this you're just not getting into it as much as you think, go to a live game. I promise you, it's completely flipped from like you're saying the NFL. You have a much better seat in the NFL at home. Hockey, you have it there. It's not like baseball where you can watch it both places. It's pretty much the same both places. Never been to an NBA game. I've been to college games and stuff.
I have.
It's up there with hockey. It's up there with hockey. NBA's, I think, are like the live basketball, professional basketball. I consider D1 college basketball pretty much professional. Um, you get up to that stage, it's the same. You can watch it at home. You can watch it. I feel like it's on the same level as baseball. You can watch it at home or watch it there. You're not getting pretty much the same experience.
I agree.
Hockey, this is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely. I mean, I've never been to a live soccer game, which I want to make it to at least one
Yeah. I feel
next
like you would have
year,
to be high.
especially with
I feel like you would have to be high to see the field, just like football. You would have to be high
in
enough to
soccer.
see, yeah, because you're not going
Yeah,
to see any play develop
I agree with you.
unless it's at your if it's at
Yeah,
your
I
end.
agree.
Cool, great. You got a great angle of a really cool shot or whatever. But unless you're up
Yeah,
top, you can't see the play develop. So,
no,
but yeah.
no,
You
I agree
mentioned
with you full heartedly with that.
the NBA. I went to an NBA game in New Orleans one time. I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was like the
were
worst
they
game
the
ever.
Hornets or were they the Pelicans at this time?
They were the Pelicans, but they were playing
Uh,
Charlotte, and Charlotte was the Bobcats.
oh, they weren't the Hornets yet.
No, they were the Bobcats.
Again,
Right.
yeah, the Bobcats. Yeah,
So they were. It was like the worst two teams in the NBA, and they were playing each other. And it's funny.
fair.
We had five of us. We were down there for spring break in 2011, and I think the tickets were for five of us, $15 total. And
Wow.
I think it was literally $1 for a ticket and $2 like freaking Ticketmaster fees and shit. So the ticket,
Fees.
yeah, the fees were
Ticketmaster
two
made more
times.
money than the
Yeah,
team.
they were $1. We
That's
paid $15,
crazy.
$15 for five of us to go into the game, and yeah,
Wow.
it was
Your
terrible.
hot your hot dog your hot dog costs more than what your
100%.
ticket cost.
We didn't stay past like second quarter or yeah, no second quarter halftime. Literally the most exciting thing I remember that game was at halftime they did like a Fear Factor type competition and they had to eat some like nasty bugs or some shit. Like this is what they're doing to draw people into a game. They got Fear Factor going on in the center court at halftime. Swear to God, it was.
Was Rogan there?
No, I don't.
Was Rogan highlighting it?
It was knockoff
Uh,
Rogan Fear Factor
I would
bullshit.
I would I would have stormed the court just to get a picture with him. That would be the only reason I'd stay.
In 2011, he wasn't anybody. He
No,
2011
he was in the
maybe was
UFC then.
yeah, but he wasn't you know the
He was definitely
the
not what he is now.
no that podcast
No,
since taken off. It's probably when he about started actually 2011 probably would have been the start of the birth of the podcasting world. Thanks,
I
Joe.
would say it's in that realm. Yeah, thanks for giving us the what do you want to say, the playbook.
Yeah. By the way, Joe Rogan almost killed me. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say it here first.
Oh yeah. Bad accident a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, it was actually leaving
Why?
Lake of the Ozark. That's when I was. That's where I was coming back from. So here's a story.
Oh no shit.
So a couple weeks ago when I first got here to where am I at? Missouri. Uh, I I came from
Yes.
North Carolina. I was on night shift in North Carolina. I had to go to day shift for like 2 days. Then I had to go right back to night shift. So I was all screwed up, and I had like a day off in between. And that day off, I took off and went to Lake Ozark. It's about hour and 10 minutes from here. Not even. I think it's less than that. So let's call it an hour. And I went down there, got a hotel room, and course, like my night off. I went out and had drinks. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun, dude. There's some sights down there, and it's pretty late in the year for those sights to be out. I was pleasantly
Hey, there's
surprised
some
that.
money down there. I know that.
Oh, there's some money, and
What's
there's
that?
I'm pretty sure the place I was at was a swingers place. I'm 1,000% sure. I'm not even kidding. It was just
I hope so.
I was
I hope it
approached. I
was.
was approached very early. As soon as I got to this place called Backwater Jacks, and I was approached very early, and she definitely had a husband like on the other side of the bar. Like it was wild. And then and then
Back Alley Jacks. I feel like it's in the name.
backwater
Oh,
Jacks.
backwater.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, and not even 10 minutes later, she left with like what clearly looked like her husband, but I don't know. And then after they left, I kind of changed seats, and I was sitting where the bartender was, kind of like by her station or whatever. So
Yeah.
kind of asking her about the area, and she's like, "Yeah, there's a big swingers this time of year," and she started mentioning about it. I'm like, "Holy shit!" I like my intuition was right.
Lots of
I knew it,
pineapples. Lots
dude.
of pineapples around everywhere, huh?
And I guess there's a couple of the bars that they call this area called the Strip. Call it the Strip, I think. Just like Pittsburgh, like the Strip. I think that's what they called it.
Mhm.
But I guess the one bar there is known for their uh, promiscuous couples. Let's put it that way. But anyways, I went out.
Interesting.
I went out
Interesting.
there, drank, had a great time. I didn't really, didn't have much luck in the swinger realm, but I didn't have any collateral. I was by myself, so you kind of think you need collateral. But
They
I,
they kind of want to go one for one.
yeah, well, I feel
So,
like it's just the appropriate thing.
oh no, you froze. Oh
My
no.
back. I see.
What happened? Oh, all right.
I'm recording on my end, so maybe it didn't freeze. But we'll see.
Oh, okay. Hopefully. So I heard the collateral, and
Yeah,
you didn't have the one for one
right. But I feel
exchange.
like
You
it
weren't able.
might be rude if I don't have the collateral. I
Mhm.
don't know. So, anyways, but
Uh-oh, less than a minute. Hopefully the story takes goes quickly.
I can wrap her up quick. Uh, so I was driving back to Jefferson City, where I'm at now. From there, and
Hmm.
mid drive, I was listening to this story from Steve Stroop. I was on the Joe Rogan podcast about how he had to have eye surgery and how he was getting drilled into his eye and how his retina fell out. And I just remember thinking, that's a pretty gross story. And then next thing I know, I'm fading. My world's snowballing in, and next thing I know, I'm trying to get off the road, and I didn't make it. Next thing I know, I wake up and I'm surrounded by trees on three sides of the car, just like completely embossed with trees. And I have no idea how I got there. Woke up, car was totaled. No idea how I got to where I was. Like I was so sweaty. All
I
right,
don't know.
let's pick up that story somewhere. All right. Anyways,
In the woods, surrounded by trees, just
yeah,
getting down with Mother Nature.
yeah. So Joe Rogan, his podcast made me faint while I was driving, and pretty much what it was. My vagus nerve caused me to faint. It's the same nerve that like if you're gonna get a blood drawn or a shot or something like that, uh, that faintness you feel.
Hmm.
That's the vagus nerve, I guess, being stimulated, and mine overstimulated to the point where I went all the way out, and I've never had that happen before. Probably didn't
That's
help out.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, and I guess like probably didn't help out. Dehydrated, was drinking the night before, was
Yeah.
going from bad sleep schedule and all that. So like, more of the stories, I don't know. Take care of
Oh,
yourself.
everything like started stacking up,
Yeah,
and
yeah, and just kind of a bad situation I put myself in, and that's why I woke
yeah,
up in the woods, and yeah, just glad to be alive.
like
Literally,
these these woods,
I,
trees like
the
this.
trees weren't that big,
No.
but the only thing I had was like a bump on my forehead, and yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. How do you get
Yeah, it was.
MRIs?
I woke up and saw your snaps, or I don't know. Maybe I was already up. I don't know when I saw the snaps, but I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, you all right? Like,
this happened like
jeez.
11:30 in the morning, so it wasn't like early. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't like I got up and drove home.
yeah.
I was at the hotel for a while and just got up and had my own leisure and got a cup of coffee even and just headed home. I felt great. Didn't feel any. Yeah, they thought I was on
Yeah.
drugs. They thought I was like drinking in the morning. Like they could not believe I just like fainted. I'm like, I don't know, man. I went out. And
Well,
yeah,
I'm glad that like once you got to the hospital, the doctors are able to figure out like what kind of caused
situation.
the whole situation. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess there's other people in the family that kind of have that situation too. The vagus nerve,
yeah,
but I never heard of it until that day.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's scary. That's definitely. I wonder if it is genetic.
I don't know.
I
I'm
wonder
sure
if
there's some kind of point of genetic of like you're
yeah,
susceptible to something or but
if
probably
we had Stu, he could
yeah. See,
look this all up and give us the information on this stuff. But
I think it comes with age too, so that means I'm getting old.
you are up there. You had a birthday.
No, I didn't.
You have a
Not
birthday. Not yet. Not yet. I guess. Sorry, but you
yet.
do have a birthday coming up.
Coming up.
Uh, don't hit the 3-4
Yeah.
or the 3-3, three
No.
four.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
That's why my grape
Ah,
patch. My grape patch is kind of.
mm. I shaved mine off. We
I
had a
need it.
wedding this past
Yeah.
past weekend. I was like, I was like, I gotta shave this out. It's
Yeah.
getting bad.
This I haven't done any self care in the last week and a half. So this is I look gross. My skin's all
uh,
dry. I haven't shaved shit. It's gross. Oh
man,
well.
but yeah, anybody that watches our podcast or listens to our podcast, if they would like to leave a comment or if they know more about the vagus nerve, if it's genetic, because now I'm intrigued. Like I'd like to know if this is something that other people in family or anybody's family that has had a situation like this should get checked, and because that's something scary. Definitely while you're just driving, and the next thing you know, you're in the woods,
Yeah.
looking at birds chirping in their home. So
Yeah, I wish you would have seen where the car was. I wish I would have taken a picture of it because I don't know how the hell I got to where I was.
well,
It was fucking
I
nuts.
mean, and like you did send me a picture of the car when you're in the back of the ambulance, but it already looked like they were dragging it out of the woods by
They
this
were.
point.
They
Like,
they they drug it
so
like
yeah,
completely to the road, like from where it was. And
yeah,
there's trees behind me, trees in front of me. I mean, I just fucking wild.
crazy, crazy. But well, I'm glad you're okay. I was,
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
I was. There's other people I know that were worried. They were asking me questions. I was like, you probably know as much as I do because he's in the ER and the emergency department or whatever they call it now. I was like, I don't know much. Whenever he tells me, I'll find out. And they're like, well, don't you ask him questions? Don't you? I was like, not
Guys,
really.
yeah, it's like guy code. You just kind of
Yeah,
yeah. If I want to tell you
yes,
something, I'll tell you. If I don't want to tell you something, I won't tell
yeah,
you.
exactly.
If I think it's,
Like,
I think it's like I'm not gonna just lay it all out on you. Just
yeah,
if
if
I
it's meaning,
feel like I wanted to, I would. It's just kind of
if it's meaningful, you'll let us know. Like
right.
if it's needed, we know.
Yeah, I just felt like
But
shit. And want to keep it to myself for a few days. I think more or less.
yeah,
Want to
but
figure it out myself a little bit.
I understand that full heartedly. So, but yeah, so moving on out of the excuse me, out of the accident and what's been going on the last couple of weeks in the world.
Oh,
Oh man, that's been crazy going on in just you know what's today, the 11th, in the last like 4 days, 5 days. It's been happening overseas and stuff, and that's actually the topic I was going to talk about in our episode of tits this week. If you want to hop back into this tits segment, yeah, everybody, we do a segment. It's a real talk every week. We try to not just dabble or mumble along our stories of what we're doing in our life, but we do try to talk about what's going on in the world and give you our serious opinions and stuff like that. So tits is topics with intrusive thoughts. Um
funny
and
name,
this
serious
week's
topics.
yeah, funny name, serious topic. Yes, yes, I love it. I love that tagline. Um and this week we're just on it is Jerusalem and Israel getting just blasted by the Hamas terrorist group, which I, in all honesty, I had no idea like about the backstory, anything, what's going on over there. I just know that the Palestinians and the
Israeli,
Israelis,
hmm?
is that what they are? Is
Israeli,
Israelis?
Israelites, Israelites.
I don't know, but anyway, I just know that they've been clashing. I did a little bit of research. They've been clashing since basically World War II when they gave Israel back to uh, them after World War II, and they made the country of Israel for them and everything, and it kind of uproared the whole region and got that going and started. They've been bickering basically and had some wars and other things since 1947, 1948. I was reading, so this has been going on, but I guess this is a little different in the mere fact that and I personally don't like it. Any innocent people dying, either on both sides, because now you have Israel. Obviously, they're going to retaliate, and they're shooting rockets back towards the Palestinians and killing people, innocent people over there, just because the Hamas have uh, started this little conflict
Yeah,
or war or whatever it may turn into. But it's
yeah.
crazy to me.
It's weird topic because I don't. I mean, I don't think it was a fix, and I don't think there's anyone in. I don't really see anyone in a positive light right now. It's so Hamas, who are not the Palestinians, right?
Mm,
Basically,
they're
Hamas,
they're
they are
Hamas is the group that is in charge of the Palestinian state at the moment.
right. I guess I meant I didn't Hamas. I don't think represent the Palestinian people. I guess you know what I mean. The
Uh,
innocent people. What I'm trying to get at.
yeah, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Like they're not the
Hamas is interested in Jewish genocide. That's basically what they want.
mhm,
They want a Jewish genocide, and that's what they thrive for.
yeah,
Now the Gaza Strip, which is like another section of Palestine that's kind of cornered into Jerusalem. It's on three sides. It's or not Jerusalem, Israel, and then on the
yeah,
south side they have Egypt, but
yes,
that's separate from the rest of their country, more or less.
hmm,
So
yes,
so basically Israel has to fight on two fronts already. So they have a war. They have the Gaza Strip they have to worry about, and they have to worry about the Palestinian border to the to the east. So from what I understand, Israel started bombing uh, the Gaza Strip, and it's like it's 5 miles by like 25 miles, basically kind of strip they got. Uh,
yeah.
and there's a lot of innocent people there that have just their lives have been taken too. But
And there's a
I
group, I guess, in Egypt too that has the same. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're
They
right.
have the same. They have the same views as the Moss does, and they
Yes.
started doing stuff recently too, and
Well,
kidnapping and killing and stuff. So now Israel has to fight that. They're retaliating towards
well,
that
and
and protect.
Egypt has a direct border with the Gaza Strip too, so
Yeah,
they can funnel whatever they need through that
yeah,
uh, to keep at least two fronts going. Um,
yeah.
but I, what Hamas has done is it's I, when you're cutting off
It,
the heads of babies, when you are
mhm,
just murdering and pillaging
mhm.
and raping innocent people in the
There's no
street,
excuse. There's no excuse for what they're
and
doing. And
it's
the sadly,
yeah,
and another crazy thing, and I
like
don't want to,
how can you have so
make
much
it.
hatred that you have to kill a child? Like I don't understand that at all. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't excuse it. I can't. There's nothing that I can't see any scenario where that's acceptable on any.
And
I don't care what anyone has ever done to you. If you have that kind of hate in your heart, you need
you're
something.
you're
You need
you
something else in your life.
and
'Cause-
and to hide behind the religious belief that you're doing it for your religion and stuff is cowardly because there's so many religions out there, and I'm ignorant on a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure that all of them do not rally around hatred and ill will. There might be, the fact that you think that your God is God, and okay, your God's your God, but it's not everyone's God. And I say that coming from the same way. I don't go and tell somebody how I think my religion is superior to your religion. I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe. And that's what we've always had. You and I have talked about that is that we don't, nobody has conversations and discussions about that stuff. They just want to, push that they're right and you're wrong.
Well, I think that's a
And
very, I mean, that's what I think. What you just said is like a very Western view. Like that's how. I mean,
yeah,
none of us can
what it, yeah.
100% agree with that, and I can't even. I guess I just can't get their perspective whatsoever. I can't understand it. Like it goes back to barbaric days. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a different world than what it was, and
It
God,
is different world, but
you would
over
think,
there it's still the same world. I guess, like you're saying, Western world, we forget how well we have it in our
yeah,
country or the Western countries compared to and Israel has some really great stuff. They're really smart in the science world and other stuff like that. And they're a first class country, first world country, but it's still that area in general is still stuck in the ways of their thinking, and that's just it is crazy. I can't get it,
you,
and
you would
doesn't
think.
help
I
that.
mean, clearly they have internet. I mean, clearly you can. I don't know. I feel like if you just have the internet, which they have, they're getting these videos out and things like that. Like clearly there's some kind of
Yeah,
connection they have. What they all have or access to is beyond me, but I feel like you can figure that out. And I feel like you can get other people's perspectives so easily now. Like we could be so connected. But the fact that I don't know. I just you can even hear someone talk from the other side and still have that kind of hatred in your heart. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't understand it. Uh,
I just yeah, and like you said, like
if anyone
a
could just have
child,
one
a
conversation with someone
child.
on the other side of that, just one conversation, like I think that would just take the
Well, I was reading today a bit about it a little bit and like just trying to like educate myself a little more on the history of this all and what caused it. What in a nutshell, like what caused this conflict this time. And I started reading a little bit about more of the history since Israel got formed there in 1946 or 47. But it's just there's been so many negotiations and peace offerings and treaties and stuff like that that they've they've had over the years where it's crazy to me that they've had these probably 15 that I can remember off the top of my head, and every one of them pretty much fails. Like it might the longest one I can recall was like 15 years. Like most of them just some of them fail within 6 days of the peace treaty. It's like holy shit, like why do we even have this conversation if you're just going to go and do it anyways? It's crazy to me, and it's crazy to me too of the shadiness of the funding for all this. You have some countries that are giving money to one side or the other side, and then you have some countries like us that gave money to both sides basically, because we gave money to a country that gave money to the Hamas and we in Iran, and we've always well not always supported Israel as much as we should, but we've always donated. Which I saw something crazy. Since 1948, we've we've given Israel 113 billion dollars, and that's since 1948. And in a year and a half, we've given Ukraine
Ukraine that.
105 billion. So it's like, or they might be flip flopped. I can't remember, but
Yeah, and
yeah, it's
Israel is
like,
one of our strongest, longest allies that we've had in that region for. I mean, that's basically our base. Israel is
yeah,
that's our connection to the Middle East,
and
more or less. And I mean, because everyone else basically hates Westerners, and Israel's
yep,
our little hub for that. Um,
yeah,
and it's what
and
keep
I don't,
it's what keeps the peace. It's what it's really the threat of the Americans being in Israel. But maybe that's part of the
yeah,
problem. Maybe that's part of the hatred too. The fact that
that
they have
probably
a
is.
they have a Western base. Um,
Mhm. It
You know,
probably is. I mean, it probably definitely has something to do with that. Tie into why people don't like them for sure because they're in with the United States and all the Western world, the UN and everything, and a lot of it comes about when like when after World War II they just basically gave Israel they formed the country Israel, you know, and it's like here you guys are the Jews, you guys are all going back to the motherland where for hundreds and hundreds of years prior to that the Jewish people were pretty much pushed out of there and it was all Muslim and stuff like so that that's kind of like a kid getting their toy taken off them and given to somebody else. So I can relate in that aspect. I don't think that deserves going and killing, but like when you look back in the history of this world, everything's conquered. Nothing is ever, just given to somebody. It's always been conquered. So it's back to that whole thought, and then you have the same thing. You do have the same thing in Ukraine and Russia. Russia's trying to conquer Ukraine for different reasons and stuff like that. But it's crazy to me that we aren't though doing more right now for Israel, other than we moved our battleships in the Mediterranean more towards the coast of Israel, or and tried to make sure that we're somewhat close. It's like I don't know, like pretty sure you guys dumped a shit ton of money within hours to Ukraine once Russia got invaded, and it's not like you guys are giving the same support. Actually, I just read an article this morning that uh, the Democrats want to give money to Israel, but they also want 6 billion to go to Ukraine out of that. So it's like you can't win. I'm like
I,
I'm over the
I,
Ukraine thing. I feel like we've done our best with that for
there's just
however
no end.
long.
There's no end with it. There's no end game. There's an end plan, great, but there's no end plan. It's just endless
No,
funneling of funds somewhere that
yeah,
obviously none of us are probably going to ever um, see. Um,
no,
that being said, uh, about the battleships, I've read recently, or just today, or last night, or this morning, whatever time I was at work, whatever. I don't freaking know. Yeah,
wherever this.
yeah,
What
whatever
day is it?
hour.
What?
Yeah, no idea. But
Yeah,
I guess the battleships are in range of the Gaza Strip, and they wanted to,
yeah.
before any Israel had any kind of offensive more than uh, any kind of ground support into the Gaza Strip. I guess there was plans to have the American battle Navy within range. So I guess that's the plan, and I don't know. I don't want this war to get drug out either. But the longer it goes
Hey,
on, the more people die. That's all there is to it, and that's on
and
both.
we have,
That's
and
Russia,
we lost,
Ukraine.
yeah, and we've lost up to 22 Americans since the beginning of this too over in Israel. So it's crazy. A girl that I work with, um, her parents were over there. They just got out. Like they had to go to They had to go on a Canadian flight, fly into Canada, and then fly home on Monday. Like they barely made it out. They weren't. They were one of the last flights to get out of the country of Israel. So it's crazy. You have a lot of people that don't understand. Uh, it's a scary world, especially being in a country that isn't really in walking distance to any other country that could help you.
Yeah,
You can walk into Egypt. You're probably not going to get, now you might get open arms at some places, but you're not going to go to. I don't see you walk into Jordan or Turkey or any of those other countries that they might be a little bit pushback there. If
yeah.
you're
You're
American, so
you're they're basically on an island. I mean, that's why we have it's like a hub there, like you
hmm
said. It's like that's our base. That if that
hmm
base would go away, it's that whole area is now hostile.
yeah.
So
So it's the then you have people here in the United States where they're trying to take the Palestinian and the Hamas, they're trying to make them be the ones like, well, Israel made us do it, and it's like wait a second, they're having protests. I saw there was a
Yeah,
protest in New York City about that. Like
yep.
they
And
were on the
they're
Palestinian side. And I'm like, wait, what? How is this happening? Like
on.
it boggles my mind. So
I saw one dude that was on that rally, and he's like showing a video, like, "Oh, look, this is your boy," and like it's someone getting killed in the street or something like that. That's terrible. Like, wow,
yeah,
the person's freaking sick. Like that's what you're proud of. Like,
yeah. And my biggest thing, and I've always said this, I've always believed this since I've learned it, that it's if you as Christians and as Muslims do, they see Jerusalem as the Holy Land. They see Israel as the Holy Land, and Christians see the same thing, with Jesus and everything. And they feel like that area is the Holy Land of the world. And I agree. And it says in the Bible, if you support and protect the Holy Land, then you'll be prosperous. And I think for all those years that the United States were prosperous, they gave great support, and they were always backing United States or backing Israel. And over the last 10, 15 years, the United States kind of has skimped out on that same support. They've kind of like, yeah, we support you, but it's like kind of like it's a they're not behind them full heartedly as much as they were before. And I feel like our country has had bad things happening to it in the last 15 years that I don't want to sound conspiracy theories, but like a believer in faith, and I feel like it's somewhat of God just saying, hey, like if you're not going to support things that I tell you to support and do, then I'll show you like that you're not going to have the riches of your fruits like you had when you did the right thing and supported the right things and believed the right things. And I think that we as a country need to get first back into being a little more religious and believing and having good faith and loving one another and that stuff. I'm not saying you need to go to church, and I'm not saying you need to be knocking on people's doors every day like some people do, but what I am saying though is I think you should have way better support for your neighbor, and I
maybe
feel like
maybe
Israel.
maybe what you're saying, a good way to put it is like a morality check. We
Yeah,
need a morality
yeah,
check.
yes,
We need
yeah,
to put the important things
a
first.
little,
Maybe not there's so many dumb things we argue about. God, so fucking stupid.
yeah.
I don't give a shit about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I just can't stand it. But
I didn't know. I thought you
um,
were a
but that's
big guy on that. I thought you loved it,
why can't we? Yeah,
but you're
yeah.
right. You're completely right. We
But
put so much faith in. I'm not saying like you're right about stuff like that. That stuff's stupid. It's superficial. It's stuff that we don't really need to be put that much attention to. You can put attention to it. Yeah, they're dating. They're hanging out. Whatever.
I guess
And
that's their
even
football. That's their sport.
yeah. That
Huh. That's someone that cares. That's their sport. I guess I don't
you're
know.
right. You're right, and it's crazy to me that happens. I feel like people should put getting their own house in order first, than maybe going and making sure everybody else's house is in order, or just blatantly following anybody else's house. Like, oh, look at them, they got so much, I can never get what they want. Like that's the
Yeah.
jealousy of people is getting really upsetting to me in this country. Everybody's jealous of somebody else, and they want that, but not
Well,
have to do what
that's
they did.
social media. That's social media for you. I mean, that's as great as social media is, and you get those things out. But when you get consumed by it, you're always looking at what everyone else has, and
Yeah.
what great. Oh, I got voicemail.
Huh.
Not really looking at your own.
Voice
You
Melody.
not looking at your own. Uh, like you said, house. Looking at your own needs and wants and desires, and you're looking at everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of forget what's important in your own life. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy. But that was tits. We
Yeah,
do a segment every week, saying we will keep doing that. If any of you followers, subscribers would have any, excuse me, topics that you would like us to talk about, or ideas or things that you want us to talk about, even if it's not serious, please leave us a comment or a message or shoot us an email. Ober's email is out there. You just have to look up the episode and make sure, I'm not going to tell you which episode it was, but watch all of them and you'll find his email address and you can email him.
you
Also,
just.
so
Oh, I understand. I'll take the load. Don't worry.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's out there already. I'm just trying to get more
You,
viewership
you don't
up.
want to
You
give
know what I
yours
mean?
out?
Oh, I'll give it out. It's ZACGEYER2106 at gmail.com. If you want to email me, I don't think people want to email
It's
me.
all
I
right.
think
It's all
you have
right.
it.
As of yet, 11 episodes in. What? It's not like a endless stream of
Yeah.
emails have
Yeah.
started yet. So,
Oh,
all right.
have you gotten A1? Not even a stream. I'm just
Yeah.
asking. Do you
Nah.
get one? Oh, you have
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah. I've got every time we get a comment on the YouTube channel. So I think
Ah,
yeah, I get the emails there. So
I'm all about that.
keep the
The
comments coming because
comments.
I enjoy it. Unfortunately, actually that brings me to a quick point. Someone commented a few things on like episode 4, and this was like 2 weeks ago, and I had no idea what they were talking about. I could not remember what the topics were in
Oh,
episode 4. So they had
I
some,
didn't even know that
yeah,
was like that was almost 2 months ago. So
yeah. So I didn't know what the topics were. I didn't know how to respond. So, if that was you, I
I
apologize. I had no idea how to respond, but it was someone I didn't know. I didn't know who it was. So
that's our highest viewed episode, I think.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it
Uh,
was episode 4. It might have been another one, but
I'm trying to see. I'm just trying to look it up right now, see if there's any comment, like if it will let us know. Yeah, episode
oh,
4 is our highest viewed.
we got another 10-minute warning. So I think I got to pay
Uh,
my Zoom bill. But
but yeah. So anywho, if you guys please like, comment, share, definitely share our podcast. That's the only way we can grow this and make it better. And
yeah,
that'd be nice.
get it out there.
And get it out there. We share it on our Facebooks
We
and
want to
in
let
our
our intrusive
Instagram
thoughts.
stories, but intrusive thoughts. Think I had an intrusive thought actually the other day. Actually, I saw this on the internet, so I can't say it's my own, but now I've been thinking about it a lot. And I understand some logistics of it, but it does make me ponder. Um, how do school buses fit in normal traffic lanes? For the mere fact that like a regular vehicle, you have maybe 2 feet on each side, right? From line to line. In a school bus, they're in the lines, but yet you have a seat that sits 2 people in an alleyway, and then another seat that fits 2 people, and they're not the biggest seats, and I understand that, but like
That is
that
an
seems
intrusive thought.
way wider than a normal vehicle. You know what I mean? Like,
That is an intrusive thought. I'm
how
sure
do they?
I'm sure the width of a bus is wider than a car.
It is. It is. I get you that. But like a car or a truck, like my truck, I might have 2 feet on my right side, 2 feet on my left side between the lines.
And you only have
Okay.
two
So
seats.
that's 4 feet total. But a school bus still, like, I still feel like a school bus is more than 4 feet wider than my truck.
Tough. Yeah, it's good.
No?
I don't know. No, you have a good point. I'm trying to think of a logical. Yeah,
It's
you're
just,
right.
I can't,
It
it
seems
was,
like it shouldn't, but it does. I'm sure there's I don't know what the width of a school bus is. This is an intrusive thought I had no research on. It's like, yeah, how does the bigger thing still fit inside that hole? Like, no.
yeah, yeah. I don't get it.
Is it,
I don't
it's not,
understand it.
yeah, maybe you have a little bit more room in those lanes than what you do. I think that's
Then
what
maybe,
I think that's what it boils down to. You have more room in your lane than what you think you do, which is probably a good thing. That's why there's not so many accidents when you're oncoming traffic on 2-lane roads, because you do have
yeah,
a couple
a
feet.
little wiggle room.
Yeah, you have a couple feet on each side. But Yeah, you're right. A school bus seems like it should not fit for the amount of room that's on the bus. I mean, the seats
Yeah,
are close together. I mean, it's not like you're
they are. They
you're not
are.
you're on top of each other if you're like if it's a full bus, you know. Uh, yeah, I think it's just
So so the width of a highway lane, each lane is 14 feet on average. Oh
14
wait, no,
feet.
I'm sorry, 12 feet.
That's still a
Standard
lot.
lane width
That's a
is 12
lot.
feet.
So it's almost
12
double
feet.
car.
So
I
what
feel like
is a width of the school bus?
most cars are like 6 feet. So that's a lot. That's a lot bigger lane than I thought. That's a 12 feet. Hmm.
Oh, I guess a school bus is only 9 feet wide.
What's a
Now,
car?
how?
What's a regular vehicle?
But I don't understand. A school bus is only 9 feet wide. It seems way wider,
They
bro. It
gotta.
just like seems way wider.
Well, I think a
Width
car. I mean, got to be like.
of the average car. Width of the average car is 5.8 feet.
So that's under 6 foot. Yeah, you got a lot more room.
Yeah.
You got over 6 feet in that lane. You could almost fit. You could fit two cars. It's like you can fit two
Yeah.
basketballs in the rim.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you can fit two basketballs in the average rim. If people didn't know that, you can fit two basketballs in the circumference of a basketball rim. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it barely fits, but it does fit.
So you can fit
Um,
two cars. If it's 12 foot lane, it's 5.8, 5.8
yeah,
width car,
you could fit two cars.
which is weird to think, but yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. I
I
mean,
would have never thought that
you're going 60 mile an
either,
hour, so you know what I mean on the highway.
especially like if you're coming across the Katanning Bridge and
Yeah, you're three
there's
lanes,
a three lanes and you have a big truck coming, you're in the middle lane and there's a big truck
and you're
coming
doing
out of
this
town and
because the
and
bridge is shaking.
there's a
Yeah,
coal buck truck going down in the town and you're just sitting there shaking. You're right. I
like come
like your
on, bridge.
demonstration of that.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
but
like
if it doesn't
Montana
shake,
prophecies. It's gonna fucking go in the water.
yeah.
It's
Well,
gonna.
hey, uh, McGarvey, Mr. McGarvey
Oh my
told me
god.
in high school. He said if it doesn't shake, then
Yeah,
you better get out of your vehicle and run and get off that bridge because it's meant to shake. So I
you're
was
right.
like, all right.
You're right. Yeah,
But
as by design.
as by the sign, they still like you're sitting there and you have those two big vehicles that you have a coal bucket going this way right beside you into town. You have a coal bucket coming out of town, and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know if I have
They
enough room. Maybe
that'd
I
be
don't have
weird.
enough room.
That'd be weird if two coal trucks pass each other. That's weird. Because if they need coal over there and they need coal
One
over there,
one one's usually empty,
all right. You left that detail
or
out. You left that detail out. Like
or
because
they might be taking coal to the cleaning plant. They get cleaned, and then they're taking the clean coal back over to where it needs to be. Because coal is if people didn't know it's actually pretty clean and not as dirty as 1930s were, so it's burned at a very more efficient rate and a better rate for the environment, which it's still dirty. It's still not the cleanest as let's say nuclear would be for you in your line of work,
we
but
yeah. Pro nuke. Let's go nuke.
yeah, let's get that going. Yeah, so that was my intrusive thought I had for the last day or two. I was like, yeah, it kind of is weird though. Like a school bus does fit, and they got way more people on them things
Yeah.
than, or not even just a school bus, a bus in general.
Yeah, I guess you guys have way more room in your lane than what I thought. That surprised me. So good to know.
Yeah,
You can fit two cars in
yeah,
one lane. Average cars.
yeah. And speaking of the Katanning Bridge, I don't know if you heard the story
Oh shit.
about 3 weeks ago. A person ran into the bridge itself,
Huh.
took
He
out a
missed.
railing. Huh?
Oh yeah. I was still home for that.
Oh, were you still home for that?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
I saw that.
but that was crazy.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's my Katanning Bridge story that you already know. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
guess it
didn't hear
was
the whole
longer than
story.
3 weeks ago. I guess it
Yeah.
was more of like a month. They just started working on it yesterday, so I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
wow, they actually got to it already. I mean, that was pretty quick, but it really wasn't. It's been six
No.
weeks, so.
At least, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was this. You have any other topics or ideas or thoughts you would like to get out
No,
there to the
I think
world, to the people?
I think we're
Uh,
over.
we
We're over our
we have
hour
our two
plus.
minute. We have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Right,
2 minute 10 second countdown here.
right.
But hey, it was great seeing your face. I'm glad you're
Yeah,
healthy
it's
from
here.
your accident and everything.
Yeah,
And glad we got to talk about some sports and the world and the world we live in. And hopefully it gets better.
gotta do one for the
Hopefully,
gram. Gotta get a gram
one for
in.
the group. Get my hang 10 in there. As people in the friend group always like to comment and make fun of that I always throw hang 10 up, but I've always thought that's peace,
Okay.
love. I think everybody should have peace and love in their life. But and it's very simple. Don't be an asshole. But yeah.
All
All
right,
right,
bro.
man. It was great seeing you. Episode
Wrap it up.
11 in the books. Don't pass go podcast. Over. Geyer. I'm out. Love yous.
Toodaloo.